can't. Oh, I was going to say something wild.
All right, what up, party people? Look at us. We're actually on this time. How about that? Not the worst first half in the world, Lynnell, I have to admit. The Commanders still down. Denver walked right down the field on that final drive. But outside of that, I do think the defense has played, halfway decent, certainly well enough to win the football game. I've been really pleased with the way that they have battled in the first half, albeit against an offense that is relatively lackluster.
No, it's been really impressive, honestly, in terms of the defense. I think we're now starting to see a trend here with Dan Quinn taking over here as the defensive coordinator and the defensive play caller. Back-to-back games now, we've seen them really buckle down in the red zone area. In Madrid, against the Dolphins, you saw the defense really play a lot stronger down in that red area. I think the pass rush tonight, and I know Chris Collinsworth dunked on their inability to get after the quarterback. I think he's kind of gassing it. I just think that Bo Nix is a mobile guy, and it's always going to be hard to get consistent pressure on him. But overall, I think a lot of good in the first half. I think the run game offensively has been strong. I'm glad that, Chris Rodriguez is continuing to get leaned on. I thought Bill came in and gave you some nice stuff. They're getting movement up front. The only thing I'm disappointed at, and T-Rome_T says this, and Marcus Mariota has been been garbage.
Can we figure out a way? Can somebody create a concoction that puts cinder blocks in his cleats?
Yeah.
But just only when he wants to jump. When he wants to run, he's fine. He made a couple of really big plays on that touchdown drive using his legs. But when he leaves the earth, nothing good has ever come from that. And what he was trying to do on that interception, they showed a replay of it, and he wasn't looking that way. Like, he was no-look throwing towards the sideline. You don't have to be a genius to know that's not a good idea. That is not a good recipe for success. So I hated that throw from Marcus. And if you hated that throw, you deserve to hate that throw. That was a bad, bad football play.
Honestly, and
they should be up right now because, they were playing well enough on that drive. Maybe not up, but they at least get a field goal there. Jake Moody's not going to miss. Knock on wood. He's not missing from there. But you probably score because Washington has had success moving the football against the Denver defense in a way that's been kind of surprising.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch. I think the only issue that you get with the zone is if you don't get there, you leave him tons of opportunity to scramble or find someone eventually down the field. I think that's really the thing that's got to happen in the second half. Is just doing a better job keeping him contained within the pocket. I know you probably saw on the graphic that NBC put up, like Bo Nix has the most pass attempts outside of the pocket this year in the National Football League. So it's what he wants to do. They're doing a good job getting him on the edge.
That touchdown throw was tough.
Yeah, that's a really good play, man. I thought Preston Smith had a really good rush. I feel like the front four is better than what we've seen. It's not great right now in terms of the pass rush.
They're playing inspired, though.
Yeah.
They're playing with a hustle. Daron Payne is he is at times punching through the line of scrimmage. Yeah. Anyone? But he played great. There was a whole section of plays that resulted in a Denver field goal rather than a touchdown because he was just being a disruptor. And that's a version of Daron Payne that we know exists inside the body. We just haven't seen it a ton. Yeah. Not nearly enough for the amount of money that he's being paid. But when you see those types of plays, you're like, yes, this is what we wanted. I think Jacob Martin has played really well. Frankie Louvu has played, halfway decent, one of his better halves of the season. Twitter police not going to like that slow-mo play on Bo Nix. They're going to call him a dirty player for it, but I don't think that he is. A lot of people in the chat pointing out Chris Rodriguez. What took him so long? And when I say them, so I'm talking them. Why did they not know that he was the best running back? I like what I've seen from Bill as well. He's had a couple of good plays, a couple of good runs. Yeah. But Chris Rodriguez runs like Dan Quinn talks, if that makes sense. Like when Dan Quinn is spitting at the podium, he's talking about anywhere, any place, anytime. Sergeant Slogan, as you call him. When he's just delivering those slogans, like Chris Rodriguez runs like that. I don't know why it took them so long to start giving him the football more.
Strong ASF. Turns his legs. He ran over a safety earlier in the game. Everything he does offensively for the run game is tremendous. really makes very little sense as to why he hasn't been featured more. But it's okay because now we have the rest of the season to watch. But we said it during the pregame. There are certain things I'm just looking for here down the stretch, and Deron Payne and his play was one of them. Chris Rodriguez is a restricted free agent at season's end. So they're going to have to, offer him a tender. The other thing that we were talking about in the pregame, and I know it's one half, but if I'm monitoring a certain veteran down the stretch, I'm monitoring Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz has had a hell of a first half.
He's had a hell of a first half.
And if he can play like this down the stretch, why not bring him back if he's interested in playing more football? It's a situation to me where you don't really – I don't know if you're going to invest a lot of money at tight end. I don't know how high on the need list tight end is. So I would be okay with maybe if he's going to play this way down the stretch, and that's why I said it's only the first half, but he's someone I'm definitely monitoring down the stretch. If he plays like this down the stretch – and gives you a couple of big performances, especially when you get Jaden back, I think you got to consider him bringing him back next year as your tight end one. I think he's playing well when he's not hurting the team with false start penalties.
Yeah, that slow false start penalties are bad. He has 5 catches for 45 yards. If the game ended right now, that would be his 4th best performance in terms of yards. And that was only in the half, right? Yeah. So the expectation is that Marcus is going to continue throwing his direction. He was really, really good. I mean, Zach Ertz and I thought Chris Rodriguez were the 2 best players offensively for Washington in the first half. Not on the offensive line. I mean, Laremy Tunsil has doing a hell of a job.
Yes, he is.
That Denver defensive front. But I thought those 2 guys have been the best players. It is nice to see Terry back. And on that slant, he only has 1 catch. But on that slant, you kind of see what makes him special, not afraid of contact, understands the ball's coming to him. He drew a penalty on Patrick Surtain. I think he's actually played pretty well against Surtain. Marcus just isn't throwing him the ball. Yeah. But you're also seeing Terry at a reduced snap count for what would normally be the case. And I say that because I've seen a lot of Chris Moore, and I don't like that. I want to see way more of Terry McLaurin than Chris Moore. But on that touchdown drive prior to the slant, I don't know that Terry was on the field. I didn't catch the first play of the drive, but outside of that, you saw Bates standing up, you saw Chris Moore, you saw Zach Ertz standing up on the outside, Jalen Lane was lined up on the outside, but you didn't see Terry until that slant. So I don't know if that was the plan coming in, if this is just a reaction or response to something that's taken place already, but you're seeing him at a reduced level. I'd like to see a little bit more of Terry in the second half.
It's probably on a pitch count. I mean, I get it. People are upset about the Zach Ertz comment. Can I expound upon that?
Why?
My thing is this. You have so many other holes on your football team. Like, tight end is nowhere near the top of that list. So why not? I'm not saying he's your end-all, be-all option. Like, I would try to get Kyle Pitts. I would go try to get name your tight end out there.
Your focus should be defensive line.
I'm not breaking the bank at tight end. And if Zach Ertz is going to come back on the cheap,
your focus should be D-line. Your focus should be really everything defense and another, stand-up outside wide receiver.
Need to develop Sennett. Why don't y'all get that Ben Sennett is not a pass catcher? He's not. He, at best, is going to be John Bates.
This is the game where they would develop him, by the way.
Yeah,
3-8 in prime time. This is the game where you would develop him. I don't know that I've seen Sennett off the field.
Maybe play the guy you drafted. No. If you think the coaches just don't like Ben Sennett, they're not playing him because there's something not clicking with him, whether it's in practice, whether he doesn't know where to line up at. There's a reason he's not playing. So I'm done with the Ben Sennett experiment. He's a good blocker, right? But that's really about it with him. Someone said if Ertz can contribute for the first 8 games next year, it's a win. Yeah, I'm not talking about breaking the bank. This is another vet minimum deal. Point blank.
I mean, you're looking like $5 million. Like that, and then some incentives.
I'm not wasting a draft. We have so little draft. Y'all sound stupid sometimes. We have so little draft capital. I'm not wasting it on a tight end. If they draft a tight end with the 6 picks that they got next year, the 5 picks that they have next year, I would literally throw a fit. I would throw a huge fit.
I would too. This is not a great tight end class.
Yeah,
last year was a pretty good tight end class. It's not that there's not good tight ends coming out, but if they draft a tight end in the first round, we're going to lose our minds.
I can name you 10 positions you need above tight end: linebacker, safety, corner, edge, wide receiver, running back. There's so many other things I would take over a tight end right now. So
I'm okay if they bring Zach Ertz back. I think he's playing with a little bit of pep in his step. I don't think he's obviously not the long-term answer. I mean, the guy turns 36 in a couple of days. Happy birthday to him. Yeah. But he's playing well tonight. What do you think in the second half as far as what we've seen in the first half? They're going to start with the football Washington is. That's the Dan Quinn special, right? Denver started in the game. Washington gets the opportunity to start the second half to potentially retake its lead if they go down and score a touchdown. What is your expectation? My guess is it's going to be a lot of running of the football, but I'd like to see a legit deep shot. We've only seen one, and that's the one where Terry got the penalty on Surtain with illegal contact. Should have been a holding or PI, but whatever. With illegal contact, I'd like to see another deep shot.
That's my first play of the second half. Is a play action shot, point blank. Like you got to try to stress them vertically.
I guess we saw two because Lane dropped that. It was good defense by Riley Moss. Riley Moss is a wild card. He's a rare breed, so he made a good play. We got to celebrate him when he makes a good play. Sneaky athlete, that Riley Moss.
Yeah. And Denton's wearing a jacket. Not even the jacket. It's like a flannel.
Like a beige situation. Yeah.
And they're asking, why are you wearing a coat? Never mind.
This is not a coat.
The shade is crazy, which I don't know what y'all talking about. But, yeah, I think offensively, like, my only frustration with the offense is, like, Cliff, like, can't help himself. We're punching them in the face, running the football straight at him, and then we try to get cute and do things that we don't do well. We average probably the most illegal shift penalties per week. Every single week it happens 2 or 3 times throughout the course of a game. Very, 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 very frustrating. But other than that, like, I'm actually very pleased with what I've saw.
The illegal shift that you mentioned, the substitution packages, which usually cause them to burn early timeouts, I'm not going to like it when they do that on the first drive.
The shade of 3 – what do you mean the shade is crazy? No shade towards Chris Rodriguez. Just y'all must not – you don't listen during the week clearly. I mean, Chris Rodriguez should be the bell cow at this point. I don't know why we're spelling him, if I'm being honest.
He's a good player. He's a really
solid.
Good player.
He's not
your long-term option.
Right.
He's clearly the best of the bunch right now.
Right, best of the bunch that I would be willing to upgrade.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah.
You should always be willing to upgrade positions.
Exactly.
That's not the worst thing in the world. Second half about to get underway. We will be back at the post game. Hopefully, we are celebratory. I got to be honest. I'm feeling better than I thought I was going to feel right now. So hopefully, we are feeling good at the end of this one. We'll be back right here on Twitter and YouTube. He's Lynnell Willingham. I'm Denton Day. We'll see you in like 90 minutes.